afternoon, friends. I think one of the hardest things to do is to have a session post-lunch when everyone's really nice and drowsy, and we people are trying to get you guys interested into what we're trying to sell. I've been a part of a few exhibitions, and I really pity you, educators, principals, trustees, because we're like hawks eyeing you guys down and trying to catch every glimpse that we can of you and trying to make sure that we can get an audience with you. So thank you for being sporting and sort of making the tour around and spending time with us. It means a lot for us to be able to spend some time with you. Before we carry on, I just want to run you through a quick video which will tell you exactly what we do. My company, Zoomer Sport, is about developing physical literacy in schools. We all know what literacy is about, but it's impossible for us to expect children to go out there and play if we don't teach them how to play. I know it sounds almost like an antithesis, but it's true. Kids need to learn how to play just like they need to learn how to use language. And you guys, at the educating level, at the preschool level, at the primary school level, you break it down very nicely and scientifically for them to understand how it's done. And we're trying to do exactly that with physical literacy. So without much ado, I'm going to run you through the presentation. I hope the sound is connected. It is?
B is for balance. C is for catch. D is for dancing. E is for extend. F is for frog leap. G is for grip. H is for hoop.
I is for intercept.
J is for jump. Kicking cat. L is for land. M is for mirror. N is for nimble. R is for obstacles. P is for posture. Qu is for quiet. Shh. Shh. R is for roll. S is for skip. T is for throw. U is for upside down.
V is for victory.
W is for walking. X
Is for exciting.
Y is for yoga.
Z is for
By learning how to make our bodies move,
in all sorts of different ways
we are building the confidence.
to go on to have a go at.
Any sport or physical activity.
It's much easier to learn these skills
Before we become self-conscious.
I'm more reluctant to try. Through mastering ways to move and coordinating our movements
We are developing a love for physical activities.
that will last a lifetime.
So just like you teach them language, and sort of you break language up so beautifully for all the kids to understand, you first teach them the ABC and then eventually teach them the phonetics. From there you go on and teach them simple three-letter words like mat, sat, cat, and then you try and string these little mat, sat, cats together to create sentences. And that's how eventually all of us learned how to read, write, and speak. Now when it comes to language, we're spot on. We know exactly what to do. But suddenly when it comes to sport and physical activity, we all seem to be clueless and sort of look at each other in terms of how do we get the kids to be more active? How do we get them to go out there and play sport? And I think the conversation about sport is, I think, sort of, in our country especially, it's a very exclusive program. And I think sport needs to be inclusive, and that's really what physical literacy is meant to do. To give you a small example, you have a class You have an under 12 team or under 10 team that consists of grade 4, grade 5, and grade 6 put together, right? You'll have about 20 kids that go out there and play a match. And they, let's assume they win the tournament. And the school's really proud of the fact that, hey, you know what, our under 12 team won the tournament. But you know what, it's 20 kids from 500 that went there and won the match. Physical literacy is about the other 480 kids. Now, those of you who have champions in your school or who have been good athletes yourselves, you'll realize that when you play a sport, and if you're good at one, you'll realize that you're good at multiple sports, not just one. Because if you are good at coordinating your body, you're able to do a lot of different things. And that's what we're trying to develop with physical literacy. The 3 cornerstones for physical literacy are to first make sure that the kids have the motivation to move. The equipment needs to be varied, the program needs to be colorful, it needs to be child-centric, it needs to be, the coaches need to be friendly, not the kind of PE coaches that we have here in our country, you know, where you got to blow the whistle and stand in a straight line. It doesn't work like that anymore. This is a big shout out to all your principals. I'm going to send you a quick reminder that when you hire a teacher, grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, maths teacher, you have a certain personality in mind, and you hire based on that personality. At the same time, when you're hiring a teacher for preschool or early primary school, you have a certain different personality in mind, and you hire with that. But when it comes to PE or physical education, for some odd reason, we believe that one size fits all. And we have the same PE teachers that runs the program across the board. And no wonder our kids aren't interested in PE. No wonder they're not really listening, because these coaches haven't been taught the basics of what your preschool teachers have been taught, and that is how to connect with the kids, how to motivate them, how to make a fool of themselves so the kids can laugh at them. And the more they laugh, the more the bond you will be able to create with the kids. And that's what I mean by motivation to move. From there, we move on to the confidence to move, which is really we're making sure that the kids feel confident to make the movements. Now, you look at somebody like me, I mean, I'm really enthusiastic about sport, but you put me in a black belt karate class, how many sessions do you think I'll survive? 1, maybe 2? Because my body is just not ready to make the movement skills required for a black belt karate class. And so how do we expect the kids to go out there and play sport if we haven't taught them the basic skills required to play sport? And that's when we move to the third part, which is the competence to move. That's when we start developing the technical skills. Now, the only way to develop physical literacy is by working on the fundamental movement skills, which are themselves broken down into 3 parts. The first one, locomotor skills. Like the name suggests, any skill that helps me travel from one place to the other is a locomotor skill. Object control. Any skill that helps me control something that's outside my body is known as an object control skill. So it could be a ball I'm trying to catch, could be a ball I'm trying to throw, could be a bat I'm trying to hold, could be a racket I'm trying to strike. All of them fall under the ambit of the object control skills. By the way, a pencil I'm trying to hold also requires object control skills. Those of you who have been into education for over 10 years, I think you've seen that there's been a drastic downfall in the quality of handwriting skills. And that's also owed to the fact that the object control skills, or the dexterity of the fingers, fine motor skills, are just not developed enough by the kids so that they can actually go out there and develop their object control skills. The third and the final one is body management skills, which is what I can do with my own body, either in a static, which is stationary, or a dynamic, which is moving position. This is our curriculum. This is what we teach. We're here to make sure that we can develop skills. Now, I gave you a small example of how you teach language. For example, when you want to teach them to write A, you first teach them the slanting lines, then you teach them the sleeping lines. And that's how a child is able to write the alphabet A. When you play sport, it's no different. Let's take basketball, for example. If I want to play basketball, what are the skills required? I need to be able to run. I need to be able to jump for height. I need to be able to jump for distance. I need to be able to hop, which is basically moving on one leg. I need to be able to skip, which is a rhythmic movement of my feet. I'm not talking about the skipping with a skipping rope. I need to be able to throw. I need to be able to catch. I need to be able to bounce. I need balance, both static and dynamic, and I need to be able to turn and twist. And voila, we've created a sport called basketball by just taking a few fundamental movement skills and linking them together. So you change the skills, you change the sequence, and the sport changes. What we're offering is a pack of 8 sports for every single child, where it's a curriculum-based program where every child goes through all 8 sports as a part of the school curriculum. So we have 4 sports in term 1 and 4 sports in term 2. At the end of every sport, a child gets a little wristband like that encourages him or her to sort of, you know, they feel validated about the fact that they've achieved something. This is not for the chosen performers, but for absolutely every child of the class. At the end of every term, we have a detailed report card so that we can assess the improvement each child has made in all of these skills. These are just some of the photographs of the equipment that we have and the kind of program that we run. So whether it's basketball, I mean, it clearly looks like a basketball program in play, doesn't it? But she's all of 3 years old. She possibly couldn't be playing basketball. What she's actually doing is actually working on the two-handed throw. Here, it looks like the kids are having a blast with these bikes. But if you look at the bike carefully, these bikes don't have any pedals. They also don't have any supporting wheels. Those of you who are also parents and mothers, this is a shout out to you as well. When you are buying a cycle for your child, please do not make them wear the supporting wheels. Although you might feel that, you know, I'm safe, I can do my walking in the park when my child is riding a bike and my child won't fall down. But that's the biggest disservice that you'll be doing, because what we're actually preventing is balance from being developed. When we approach kids, a lot of them tell our educators, "Arey, wo bike to gir rahi hai," because they're so used to a bike having its own balance because of the supporting wheels. And early balance instilled amongst preschoolers and primary schoolers greatly helps their reading, writing, and speech skills. Mind you, I'm not even talking about sport here. So whether it's gymnastics, whether it's racket sports, a lot of other fun games that we bring all of the equipment for, we bring all of the equipment to the school. So we provide the equipment, we provide the program, and we make sure that every child, at least that's our endeavor, that every child is physically literate by the time they pass out from grade 5. The reason I've picked these photographs is just to show you that the kind of equipment that we use is not your conventional PE equipment. I mean, actually in India, we don't have PE equipment. So we have a ball and we have a basketball, and that's about that. A few companies are now using maybe a hoop and a cone, and you know, they sort of pull the wool over your eyes that that's PE, but trust me, that's not PE. There are lots of different ways to, you know, encourage the children to learn basic skills in a fun way. When kids are having fun, they don't even realize how much they're learning. Of course, you guys know that better than me. I'm preaching to the choir. So I'm going to skip through that because I know we're short of time. Just to sum this all up, we bring the equipment, we bring the program, and we also bring our educators that are all level 1 physical literacy licensed coaches to your school. We don't work with PE coaches, so our version of PE and your version of PE so far are chalk and cheese. Please visit us, those of you who haven't, and we'll give you more insight on exactly what we do and how we do what we do. Thank you. Thank you.